I don't know what's going on with Deebo Samuel other than he wants out of San Francisco. We know that. We don't know why, and I think the why has a lot to do with whether or not he is going to be placated in any way by the 49ers. If it's money, they can pay him. If it's his use, they can alter it. If he just doesn't want to live in California, there isn't much they can do short of relocating the team to make him happy. So we're still waiting for the why, a reliable why he doesn't want to be there. But all we know is he doesn't want to be there. And there were multiple reports over the weekend that the Jets, the Packers, and the Lions have shown initial interest. And anytime I see those same teams from multiple reporters, that tells me that I think the agent's putting it out there to try to stir some things. Let's get something going here. I'm surprised there aren't more teams. But when you look at what the 49ers would want for him and what he's going to want, and he still is largely unproven. He had one great year. He's had some injury issues. He plays with a reckless abandon that isn't conducive to lining up for all 17 regular season games and the playoffs. This is a tough call as to where this is going to go. First question is, are the 49ers going to give him what he wants? And we expect them to because other teams are doing that with disgruntled receivers. That doesn't mean the 49ers are going to throw in the towel on this guy. He's one of their most important players, Tom.
He is, but on the other hand, too, if he's going to be recalcitrant in any way, then you probably should jettison him, because do you want to spend $35 million a year on a receiver who doesn't want to be there? And that's what you're going to enter into if you're the San Francisco 49ers as you go into the final year of Deebo Samuel's contract. And he's made $6 million in his career. If money can be the salve to the wound that he has feeling right now, then fine. But if it isn't going to be, and you're going to pay him, or he's going to deny every deal, then move on and try and reset in this draft. If you go, for instance, and take the Jets up on perhaps a presumed offer, which I've seen put out there, with the 10th overall pick is involved, done, good, take him. We'll take Jameson Williams at 10. We'll take Chris Olave at 10. We'll find a player. Go ahead, Mikey.
No,
I see hand raised.
I keep coming back to this. Now, look, Devontae Adams gets traded after 8 years with the Packers. They have gotten their return on the draft pick that they invested in Adams. Tyreek Hill, they won a Super Bowl. They went to another one. The Chiefs have gotten their return, and they get 5 picks back, and they don't have to pay him $75 million over 3 years. The 49ers are just getting started with Deebo Samuel. It makes no sense to me. You scratch off a lottery ticket, it becomes Deebo Samuel. I don't want more lottery tickets because I don't know that they're going to become Deebo Samuel. That's why I think for the 49ers it is incumbent. Remember last year when Aaron Rodgers was unhappy with the Packers, they went out there and kissed his butt multiple times in California. The brain trust flew from Wisconsin to California to try to work it out with Aaron Rodgers. If I'm the 49ers, I'm doing everything I can to get Deebo Samuel back into the fold. Now, I've said this since news broke on Wednesday. They're at fault. How can you let the relationship between you and one of your most important players go to crap like this? How do you let that happen?
I know.
How does that occur? What did you say or not say? What did you do or fail to do to create this dysfunction? It's on the 49ers to some degree, unless the only reason is he wants out of California and there's nothing else. Some or all of this is on the 49ers.
Certainly, and the 49ers might be happy that it's on them because it's their perception, and I don't know this to be the case. But if you look at, again, I hate to be so Patriot-centric. I know we have a worldwide audience, but I'm going to come back to the Patriots and Tom Brady. Well, why was Tom Brady allowed to leave? Because the Patriots felt as if they could replace Tom Brady, or they in some ways made him and could make another, which maybe they are going to, an approximation of early Tom Brady with Mac Jones. Same thing with Deebo Samuel, who have a genius offensive mind in Kyle Shanahan. And they love Deebo Samuel, but they don't love Deebo Samuel taking 18% of their salary cap because they feel they can create another Deebo Samuel. It's the suit. It's not the player inside it. You put him inside that suit where he's a wide receiver and a running back. And yeah, there's not a lot of them, but do you think if Julian Edelman was there, he could have done that? Yeah, maybe. He was a 7th round pick. There are players out there who can do that now. And that's why I think it's hard, I believe, for me to get my mind around $40 million wide receivers. Because
you keep pumping the number up, though. It's 35. Now it's 40. I mean, it's not even at 30 yet. Tyreek Hill's 30 is fake. It's phony. It's fraudulent. It's got a $45 million balloon payment the last year. Give me 25 to 30. 25 to 30 right now.
All right.
It's still a lot. Still a lot. When there's great receivers coming out every year, it's a lot.
So when we get to that point, you have to weigh, okay, can this player take over a game on a regular basis? I think the short running catch guys can more adroitly than, say, for instance, DeAndre Hopkins. I think the guys who work underneath, the Deebo Samuels, they're easier to exploit than the downfield X receiver who's working between the numbers on the sidelines all the time. I think those guys who can work the middle of the field, who can take handoffs, who can operate like this after the catch, Tyreek Hill after the catch, they are the coin of the realm going forward. But in order to be that guy, you're going to take a lot of punishment. You're going to move around a lot. And so for Deebo Samuel understanding that, I don't know whether this is a stick up and he's entitled to do so, because making $6 million and taking the punishment that he will working on the interior of a football field is different than DeAndre Hopkins will take, different than Amari Cooper will take. So he's entitled to try and orchestrate his way, I think, in a way that maybe an X receiver isn't. But still, I'm a team. I'm rebooting and saying I can get another guy to do that. Sorry, Deebo, you're awesome. Love you. Great personality. I'm going to find another guy.
You're making a point that reminds me of something that former 49ers in Washington GM Scott McCloughan told Mike Reese of ESPN.com, the idea that a great receiver is only touching the ball 6 or 8 times per game. You can't make that investment in. But the other side of the coin is this. If you're that X receiver, you're attracting 2 guys with you everywhere you go. And
you're making
they're
the
game
spot
planning.
You're making the tight end.
You're the red dot guy that they have to account for in every play, and you're opening up the rest of the offense. So there is inherent value in your presence, even if it's not in your production. The other side of this, too, and I keep coming back to, just because the Packers gave Devontae Adams what he wanted, just because the Chiefs gave Tyreek Hill what he wanted, don't assume that the NFL has had this fundamental shift where teams are now willing to just move on from anybody who wants out. You know, Mike Tomlin says at least once a year, it's one of his, there's a snake in my boot, pull string comments. We want volunteers, not hostages. You hear that from him. We want volunteers, not hostages. Well, that means all you got to say is I want out and I'm getting out. Not every team is going to do that. And I think back to the Eagles in 2005 with Terrell Owens. And I think he was ahead of his time. There's a chapter, by the way, in a new book called Playmakers that touches on the Terrell Owens experience in Philadelphia and how differently we viewed Terrell Owens when all he was looking for was a little extra security after having a 2004 season in which he wildly exceeded anyone's expectations for him to walk right into Philadelphia and do what he did and then played in the Super Bowl with a broken leg. He just wanted his contract to have greater protections, especially against injury. And the Eagles' attitude was, sorry, you signed a contract. Deal with it. Play for us or play for no one. So he embarks on this reign of terror to get himself traded or cut, and it marred the whole season. He still averaged more than 100 yards per game that he played that year, but that's a different point altogether. I just think that there are still some of those folks in the NFL who think the way the Eagles thought in 2005. And their attitude is going to be, I don't care if you want out. You got 2 choices, Deebo. Play for us or play for no one. And we don't know what the 49ers are going to do. We don't. They've said nothing. I don't know when their pre-draft press conferences are, but they've said nothing. We'll get some insight at some point this week. They'll either trade him or they won't, but we don't know what they're going to do. And they very well may let this week unfold with no activity, no action. And the bottom line is they don't say anything, and they just wait for Deebo to show up, because what's he going to do? Not get paid, not play football, not do the thing he loves? Push comes to shove, maybe he's going to show up.
One key difference between 2005 and 2010, and maybe even 2014 or 15 and now, the advent of social media, the rise of social media.
Yes,
and the
you're
fact
absolutely right.
A player can keep hammering it, and then you can have, say, Matt Judon from the Patriots saying, hey, why don't you come out here? And then all of that gets exercised, and the fan base is heard from, and it's different. The pressure that can be exerted is so far different now because of it.
You're absolutely right. The shirtless driveway sit-ups were your only alternative. The next question press conference on the front lawn from Drew Rosenhaus was your only way to get your message out. Can you imagine what Terrell Owens would have done with a Twitter page and an Instagram page in 2005? Can you imagine? It would have been relentless. And there's a point where the team just throws its hands in the air and say, we don't need this crap. We don't need it. Let's just move on from it. It's given the players a very valuable weapon.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.